Look, some people believe this world will be destroyed by fire, while others think it will end in ice. But in this poem, Robert Frost is not talking about the scientific fire or ice. He is using the words fire and ice as a reference. The poet believes that fire will end the world because he understands the destructive power of human desires. In the poem, fire symbolizes desire, greed, and anger. When people try to fulfill their selfish desires, they fight, harm others, and create violence. This uncontrolled fire of passion slowly destroys humanity. That is why the poet feels that fire, human greed and desire, is more likely to bring the end of the world. The poet says that if the world had to perish twice, then ice would also be sufficient to destroy it. Ice represents hatred, coldness, and lack of love. Robert Frost knows that hatred is as powerful and dangerous as desire. When people lose love and become emotionally cold, they develop hatred and insensitivity. Because of this hatred, humans fight each other, spread violence, and slowly move toward destruction. Therefore, ice is also capable of ending the world. The poet believes fire is more likely to end the world, but he reminds us that ice is just as dangerous. In the end, it is not nature alone, but human emotions, when left unchecked, that can destroy the world. The poem urges us to control our desires, spread love, and choose empathy over hatred, because the future of the world depends on it. Let's understand the poem Fire and Ice from two different perspectives. First, the basic or literal meaning. Some people believe that the world will end in fire, that is, through extreme heat. Today, we already see rising temperatures, heat waves, and climate change. On the other hand, some believe the world could end in ice, either by freezing completely or by flooding caused due to melting glaciers and rising sea levels. Now let's move to the deep or symbolic meaning. Here, Robert Frost does not talk about scientific fire and ice. Instead, he uses them as symbols of human emotions. Fire represents desire, passion, greed, and uncontrolled lust, emotions that make humans selfish and violent. Ice represents hatred, coldness, indifference, and lack of love, emotions that make humans emotionally dead and cruel. The poet believes that fire is more likely to end the world because uncontrolled desire and greed push people to fight, exploit nature, and destroy each other. However, he also admits that ice is equally powerful, as hatred and lack of empathy can slowly destroy humanity from within. Thus, whether through burning desire or freezing hatred, the poem warns us that human emotions can lead the world toward destruction. In the poem Fire and Ice, the word perish means to come to an end, to be destroyed, or to die completely. The word suffice means to be enough. In this poem, when Robert Frost says ice would suffice, poet means that hatred alone is adequate to destroy the world. Question 1. What is the poet saying about the world in the poem Fire and Ice? The poet says that the world can come to an end. He suggests that the world may be destroyed either by fire or by ice. If the earth becomes too hot, it will burn completely and all life will end. Similarly, if the earth becomes too cold, it will freeze and life will also come to an end. Question 2. How can extreme heat destroy the world according to the poet? According to the poet, if the earth becomes extremely hot, everything will burn. Excessive heat will destroy nature and living beings, leading to the end of life on Earth. Question 3. How can extreme cold destroy the world? Answer. If the Earth becomes too cold, it will freeze completely. In such conditions, no life can survive, and the world will come to an end. According to Robert Frost, what does FIRE stand for? Answer. FIRE stands for desire, greed, anger, passion, sexual attraction, and conflicts. These strong emotions can make humans violent and destructive. According to Robert Frost, what does ICE stand for? Answer. ICE stands for hatred, coldness, insensitivity, indifference, and a lack of love. These emotions make humans emotionally cold and cruel. Question 6. How does fire affect human behavior? Fire represents strong emotions that can push people toward violence and conflict, leading to destruction. Question 7. How does ice affect human behavior? Answer. Ice represents emotional coldness. It makes people cruel, insensitive, and indifferent toward others. Question 8. Which literary device is used in the poem Fire and Ice? Answer. The poet uses contrast as a literary device by presenting fire, hot, and ice, cold, as opposite ideas. Question 9. How does contrast help convey the message of the poem? Answer. The contrast between fire and ice highlights opposing forces. Fire represents extreme heat and strong emotions, while ice represents extreme cold and emotional coldness. This contrast helps convey the poem's message clearly. Who is the poet of the poem Fire and Ice? Correct answer, Robert Frost. In the poem, what does fire symbolically represent? Desire, passion, and greed. What does ice symbolize in the poem? Correct answer, hatred, coldness, and lack of love. According to Robert Frost, how will the world end the first time? Correct answer, by fire. Why does the poet believe fire is more likely to destroy the world? Correct answer, human desire and greed lead to destruction. If the world were to perish a second time, what could destroy it? Correct answer, ice. What is the meaning of the word perish? Correct answer, to come to an end, be destroyed. Which statement best expresses the poet's final opinion? Correct answer, fire is more likely, but ice is also sufficient. According to the poet, what will end one day? Correct answer, world. What would be a better option to end the earth, according to the poet? Correct answer, both A and B.